Let's find out my time. 97 slides, guys. More than any panel presentation I've done before. But again, the company's going out of business, so I don't even want to know how we're doing this. You live?
We're live.
We're live. Okay. Everyone here. Okay. Thank you for everyone for coming to the Valverse panel. Thank you to everyone listening live. Hope you guys enjoy this. I don't think there's anything cool in here, but we'll see. All right. So, everybody get a Fury? Okay. Don't worry, everyone listening live. I will put Furies up. You will have your chance to get them. Don't worry. They're coming. All right. So, like I said, I have a ton to get through. So, I'm just going to go right on into it. We've got new Action Force stuff to show. I've got new lines to show. Vehicles. All sorts of stuff. So, the first thing I'm going to get into is a new line that we are going to be introducing for 2026. It's separate from Action Force, but, you know, can all live in the Action Force world. So before we get into it, we'll start with a little lesson. So the word extra, it's a noun. Is extras, and it means a person engaged temporarily to fill out a scene in a movie or play, especially as one of a crowd, you know, like extras in a movie. So we have Extras by Valaverse.
Right.
What's extras? Let's do some guys. So we're going to introduce a line of just some background characters, you know, like extras in movies, you know, all different clothing types, different ethnicities and heads and all sorts of things. So we'll start out with, you know, some hoodies, some tank tops, some t-shirts, and, you know, they each ethnicity will have, you know, different options. So we're going to have a ton of different options, lots of customization to it, you know, different heads. Again, you know, multiple styles here. Like the range of, you know, customization here is endless. So we're looking at doing, you know, just like the basic figure, you know, some hands, a stand, one accessory for 25 bucks or less. Not bad, right?
Yeah.
Not bad. So for those of you that like doing Dio setups and figure photography, I think these are going to be great for you to like really, you know, extend your world and, you know, give you some better shots with these background characters. Now we are doing something special with this. Now it's starting to become something Marvel Legends is doing it. We are doing a special torso because you have, you know, hoodies and t-shirts and tank tops, and I don't want them tucked in the pants. That's not stylish at all. So what we're going to do is our lower torso is going to be soft PVC with an inner torso that you won't see so that you can articulate the torso and it'll move like real fabric. And you'll be able to have that hoodie or that t-shirt or that tank top sitting over top of the waist piece. Cool, huh? All right, so that's extras. Those are coming in 2026. So stay tuned. All right, this is what you're here for, right? Action Force Series 6. Now, so I've said that Action Force Series 6 was going to be all villains, right? Well, I'm not doing that anymore. Kind of, though, kind of. Because I was designing all these great new villain characters, and after I kind of got the series done, a friend of mine was like, well, that other thing could live on its own. Like you should make that its own line. I was like, well, I already got the you know, the wave done. He's like, I don't know, man. It should be good. So the more I thought about it, I was like, you know, he's right. So I decided to take some of those villains out of the wave. Now they are going to be their own new series that I will be introducing soon, later in this presentation. So now Series 6 is going to be a mix of good guys and bad guys and gear packs and stuff. You guys are going to like the kind of the villains new series coming out. So Series 6 will start out. So from 2021 to 2025, we didn't have something available in the line, but now 2025 and beyond, we will have something available in the line. And that is swappable arms from the butterfly joint. So that Fury that you all got, you can take the arms off that. So it's starting with the Fury and it's moving forward. Don't take your arms off your old ones because they can't come off. Moving forward, all arms will be able to detach and customize at the butterfly joint. So for Series 6, we have new backpacks coming. We have 5 new styles. We have some over-the-shoulder, some big backpacks. One you saw with the Steel Brigade. We have new comms backpacks. Where's Allie? Allie, comms backpacks. And so you got the adjustable strap on the over-the-shoulder. You have, flexible radios, the fold-out Wi-Fi comms up there. On the over-the-shoulder one, the minigun does attach to the bottom of it. So, if you want to have the over-the-shoulder, Terminator 2 style backpack for that. And there will be 3 styles, Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie in OD green, black, and tan. And we also have more weapons coming. Told you guys I'm doing the whole alphabet. So we have Weapons Pack Lima here. I will have the weapons. We can't really see them. We will have, actually, you probably saw them. I teased them and put them in the case already. So we have all new weapons, all new tooled weapons for this set. The little double barrel shotgun down here does break open, which is nice. So that's a nice new job. Look at that. See that? Isn't that special? So then we have Weapons Pack Mike, which is some of our existing weapons and some new weapons. And now, just get ready for November. Because November is our rocket launcher. So you'll get the rocket launcher case, the rocket launcher, the rockets, the blast effects. Now, something special about November, this is probably going to kill you like display guys in the box stuff, because it doesn't come in a box. It's going to be in a blister card. So change it up a little bit because that set could not fit in our boxes. But I thought it would be cool to have November in a blister card. So yeah, so that's everything you get in there. We'll have that on display as well. This one's going to be really fun. I like this set a lot. And it should be good for all you Dio guys and good photographers out there. All right, what is next? I'm trying to remember now. Oh, some more basic troopers. We are introducing 3 new basic troopers to Series 6. We have the Raider Battalion. We have Special Warfare. And we have the Delta Corps. All 3 of these will be available at the rest of Series 6 that I'm showing. They should be arriving in September, I believe. So, again, probably won't do pre-orders, just go up like they normally do. And you're probably like, well, where's the gear packs? This winter, I am introducing a new tin set, like we did for the tin with the weapons. It's going to be all vests and belts. So for all the guys and basic troopers you're looking for vests and belts for, we will have a big tin set that it's just going to be tactical gear. So don't worry. So we'll outfit all of your guys. Maritime Corps, all these new ones, they are coming. What's next? Oh, we got a show coming up in September. ToyCon New Jersey. Anybody going? You're all going to want to go. So we decided we were going to do something special for this show. Now, I get asked a lot, when are you going to reissue this guy? I'm like, yeah, he was a good one. Dorkside's not around anymore. That was a cool figure. But we got better figures now, and the line's evolving. What if we did a new one? So the Infantry Commando 2.0 will be the exclusive for New Jersey ToyCon. I will have this down at the booth. So he's got his multicam. He's got new heads. He's got a new vest, newly tooled parts on this guy. He's really fun. This is the packaging for him. We are going, I talked about it on social media, we are going to the 4 Horsemen style packaging with our blisters, where now you can remove the backing card and not have to rip your for you inbox guys, So all of our figures and basic troopers will be going to this style card back. Same thing with the the weapons November, the rocket launcher. So it's I think it's a good choice. We're having some bubble issues, which kind of sucks. But it seems like, this suits in-box and out-of-box collectors. I mean, you should all be out-of-box collectors because you got to let these things breathe. But, yeah, so that's what we're changing. Tons of options on this guy. You notice our new helmet did have a 3rd hole. We have a new flashlight coming. We have new comms for this set. We have a new tactical mask coming. So now you can do all these different options with all the holes on the helmet, which is really fun. So You know, everybody likes options. And just like our other con exclusives, there will be a variant, and there will be 100 of them. And it's going to be this guy. So we'll do a multicam Steel Brigade head. I know people are probably like, why are you doing it as a variant? Because it's fun. It was fun. So hopefully you enjoy that. But yeah, maybe you'll be lucky enough to get one. All right. So next up, we have another show coming. Who's going to Legions Con? Yeah. That's a great show. I really enjoyed Legions Con when I went last year, and I can't wait to go back. So we are going to have an exclusive. Now, there's something else that is happening in November around this time. Anybody know? How about Day of the Dead? Well, Dia de los Muertos? Yeah, I probably butchered that. But so we are doing an exclusive figure for Legions Con for Day of the Dead timing, and it is going to be our Day of the Dead Sidewinder. Yeah. So Day of the Dead Sidewinder is, you know, more of a night ops theme sort of figure, and we're doing the variant a little different on him. So this is everything he comes with. Now there will be a standard head, and there will be 2 variants of the other heads. So there'll be 100 of each. So now you have a better chance of getting the variant, but now there's 2 variants. So sorry, guys. He will be in this nice, cool packaging that we will have down at the booth. Again, he will be in that same brown box, same, you know, new blister card setup. What's next? What's next? Oh, Lieutenant Hume. So I teased her a few years ago and then kind of put her on the back burner. But I'd always planned on bringing her out. So she'll be part of Series 6. She'll be the later part of Series 6, so she won't be here in September. But she will be available. So she's a member of the Garrison. And this is everything she comes with. And again, she will be available toward the end of the year or early 2026, along with this guy. So this is Jester, another villain. Again, I did some villains. So, you know, Series 6 isn't devoid of villains. But Jester is one of Pandora's henchmen from Devil's Grimm. And I designed this guy because I wanted, like, just a sicko with a lot of knives. So that's the way I did Jester. And I was like, what kind of guy runs around with, like, a World War II tanker helmet with knives all over him? Like, this guy's awesome. He's really fun. So, again, I wanted a ton of knives on this guy. So we did this cool bandolier that has all these knives. One fits on his back as well. And we really, for Series 6 and all these new series, we're like, I'm pushing the detail like crazy, especially like with our factory, with all the tooling and the molds. I'm like, all right, like we got to go really, really heavy. So we're going a little deeper on the molds because he's got all this nice leather work on his bandolier, and we want all that to come out in the molds. So I'm really happy with, you know, the progress the factory's making as far as pushing that detail. Now with him, just like we do with Pandora, I think we'll do a bloody version. So this one will most likely be a big bad exclusive. So they'll have the bloody option. It won't be like a variant. So you'll be able to get this one, guys. So don't worry about that. So yeah, so that's Jester. What's next? What's next? Oh, talking about villains. All right. So this is the other half of the line, or the villains line. I'm introducing a brand new line called the Black. Now, for those of you guys that listen to our show and stuff, I've kind of teased this in a way, like what I want to do. So in order to explain what the Black is, I have a little video for you. So Greg, we're good on sound, right? Yeah. Okay.
We offered our lives up for our country, but that country is gone. That doesn't mean there's nothing left to fight for. Loyalty to each other is unmatched, and therefore the mission will continue. A new mission. Brotherhood and sisterhood of the sea that brought us together is worth fighting for. It's worth spilling blood for, and if need be, it's worth dying for. Country promised us freedom. But we know that the only true freedom is found in a shoreless horizon and the depths below. That's why we took what we did. That's why we'll die before we ever go back. New Colonia, the swarm action force. Let them all fight over this fractured country, as long as all of them understand that the seas belong to the black. On the water, we are many. They are few. Accept this and pay the bounty, or find yourself in the locker. After the divide, there was no more command, no more navy. These frogmen devoted their lives to a cause, and that cause was now gone. They needed purpose and a mission. There were some that decided to lead. They pledged that their loyalty was not to the country that turned its back, but to each other. They had a new mission. That mission was to rule the seas. It was their territory. By taking control of Navy bases, they now had a fleet of warships, making them a formidable force of modern-day pirates, even taking on their historical monikers. Their commander is Blackbeard. They is second in command. They protect the country from outside forces, but they also exploit and control trade and shipping through the former U.S. If it is on the water, you pay a price, or you pay with your life.
Awesome. So hopefully you guys got what that is. So I've always wanted to do a line of pirates. I love pirates. I love the show Black Sails. But it's like, how do you do pirates? You know, historical stuff is a little niche. But I was like, modern day pirates would be really cool. But how do you do modern day pirates? So I took Navy guys and I turned them into sort of almost like anti-hero mercenaries in a way. So the Black is now our modern day pirate line. So just like it said, we'll be introducing Blackbeard. He is the, you know, sort of the captain of the Black. He is on the big body, but a lot of new parts with him. As you can see, like, you know, for you Navy guys out there, he's got, you know, the tridents for all his fallen guys. This is everything he comes with. He's got these really cool new gloves with you know, bones on them, which is really fun. These are the new stands that come with you know, Series 6 and beyond. He's got, you know, the alternate head with the bandana on it, which is really fun. Again, pushing detail with him. Again, he's got this great arm sleeve, tattoos all over him. So he's cool. And then we are also looking at doing soft goods for him. I don't know if this is going to be in the regular release or if it's going to be a variant or an exclusive, but that he will come with soft goods in some sort of fashion. Soft goods is fun, right? Yeah. And then we have Vane, who is the other member of him. This is probably one of my favorite figures I've done like ever. Like, he's so cool. So that's everything he comes with. Again, really pushing the detail, especially on, you know, all these new parts that they're going to come with. So he has options for, you know, his shema. So, you know, you can either wear it as the scarf or have it so it's the, you know, the head wrap and, you know, how it wrap, you know, it sits over his torso. Now, speaking of Black Sails, anyone a fan of the show? Anybody watch Black Sails? Okay. Anybody recognize that voice that was in the video? Well, if you didn't, oh, sorry. Before I get to that, just more detail on him. So we've signed an exclusive deal with Zach McGowan, who was my favorite character on Black Sails. He played Charles Vane. Now he is now the new Vane in the modern day Black series. So yeah, he is really cool to work with. So he lent his voice for the video. And then I was like, hey man, would you want to be a figure in the line? And he was like, that would be really, really cool. So I was like, you know, it's Vane again. And he like really thought that was cool to be able to like be that character twice in like two different versions. So yeah, that's him. I'm happy to have him in the line now. It's cool to get another kind of, you know, celebrity real person back in the line. Now, in addition, we have the Corsairs. These are going to be basically like the squad henchmen of the black. You know, your basic troopers that you could just fully customize. This is what they will come with. And they will also have multiple head options. Now these will be kind of variants. You won't know which one you get. So we're gonna have 4 different heads for the Corsairs. So when you buy a bunch, you might get, you know, all 4 or 2 or 3, you know, you never know. But it's fun to kind of have that option of which one will you get. So that is the black. And hopefully you guys like this series, because I'm really digging this series a lot. I can't wait to like do more. I have so many more characters that I've, you know, designed and created that I can't wait to introduce. There's gonna be some female characters as well. Ships, we'll see. I still got more presentation to go through. I have more presentation, don't worry. Oh, I have a new license partnership, which is really fun. We just signed a new licensing partnership earlier this year, and I knew that I couldn't wait for DFW to announce it. So we are working with Ubisoft, the video game company. And that means that in 2026, we will be introducing So we will be doing Splinter Cell figures. We'll start off with with Sam Fisher, the main character. And we are looking at doing multiple versions of Sam, and we're gonna, hopefully that this goes really well, that we keep doing more Splinter Cell figures. They're working on, a new game, which is great. So hopefully you fans of the game like this one, because this is fun for us. It's nice that we can still do, some tactical characters that will, live in our world, but it's also just something new. So very excited about this one. So it's going to come up. People are going to ask. So I can't really share a ton because I've been asked not to yet. But last year when I did the panel, I had to rush and leave and go do an important call in my hotel room. And that was with our new director and our new producer on the movie. So after the whole writer strike thing, things really slowed down. Our director was great, but things just slowed in Hollywood and stuff like that. Well, I was contacted by our new director via Instagram. He just reached out to me and said, hey, I love your line. Tell me more about it. And we just started talking. Now, he has directed blockbuster movies. He's directed The Rock multiple times, and his production partner has won Oscars. And we were talking, and he was like, hey, can I I want to be a part of this. And I was like, let's go. So we signed a new agreement with him and, and his production partner, and we're going full steam ahead on the movie. But to have someone as high profile as them, I can't wait to announce them, is wild, especially the fact that he just kind of reached out to me on Instagram. So it's pretty cool. He's also sent me several pictures of A-list guys holding Action Force figures that he's had meetings with. And I'm like, whoa. So I can't wait to share that kind of stuff. It's really exciting, but yeah, that's what I have to share on the movie. It is a slow process, but we are making a lot of progress. Let's get into some vehicles now. I know everybody loves vehicles. They take up a lot of space and they're really expensive, right? So we are doing one that will come out, I think, towards the end of this year, and that's going to be the Shadow Vanguard. I teased this one on social media. So we're going to do a black Vanguard. With it'll come with the whole set, the whole haul set, new turret, everything, and a new drive. It'll have the Reaper driver, all in black and dark grays and stuff. I just wanted something just really mean and rugged looking. So this is our Shadow Vanguard that will be coming either the end of this year or very, very early 2026. Here's some more detail on it. I wanted to give a different offering for the hauls pieces that come with it and really rust it out a bit. And now we have an update on the Locust. This one I announced last year sometime, and this one I'm really taking my time with. I love this vehicle so much, and I feel like every time I see a new model, I'm putting more, changing things and putting more detail in it. Oh, let's add this, let's do this, let's do this. But it's coming along very nicely. We are very close to start tooling on it. So hopefully this is, a later 2026 release, but the Locust is coming. And I want to give you some updates on what we've added to it. So, you know, I added things like, oh, it needs, like a cockpit harness, which the factory put on upside down. I said it needs more firepower. Let's put some missile launchers on it. The cool thing about the missile launchers is it's fully modular, so you can have them as they're firing, or you can have them as they're in their static position. Added some more detail to the console, which is going to be all translucent. We were exploring a light up feature, which looked really nice, but I'm not a big fan of the lights, and it just adds cost to it. There's a lot of great customizers out there. We might do something where we give an area in there and make it easy to put a light kit in there for those of you that want to do it. But, we're still working all that out and the cost and things like that. So here's a quick little video from the factory just showing, it's going to speed up how the missile launchers go on and how you can see how you can change them to take the blast effects off. And when you put them on, they do rotate, which is very cool. So I'm getting, Locust videos like every week, which is fun just to see how it progresses. And, but again, this is something that like, I want this thing to be perfect. So I'm taking a lot of time with it and making sure that you guys are super happy with it. Of course, because it's, the cost has to be there, the detail has to be there, everything has to line up. So doing vehicles is tough. Another thing we're adding to it, we're going to add a flight stand to this guy. And Ace at Ramen Toy, I had hired to design the stand for me. I said, make something cool. Make something that people would think is the best flight stand, not just, something that just stands, which is fine. But he designed this really cool flight stand that pivots and changes, the positioning all over the place. So we just have to work out some balancing issues because, it's more front heavy. So, but again, it pivots there, and it has ratchets and locking so that, it doesn't fall over. So the stand will probably be an added item that you could purchase if you want. So just to, keep the overall cost of the Locust itself down if you don't want the stand, but if you want it, we'll make it available. And it'll be, clear, most likely. And it's got the, the big base with the Swarm logo on it, which is fun. But yeah, Locust is coming. Be patient. It's got to be perfect. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So I think the next thing is something new. Someone talked about boats. How about an attack raft? This is cool, right? So I had this idea for a bit, and I was talking with Mark from Mark II Designs. I said, "Hey, man, we need to do an attack raft," and so he nailed it. So it's going to have a translucent water base to it. It can fit up to 4 guys in it. It'll have the big grenade launcher in the front. It's got, the paddles come off, the motor, it pivots and things like that. So this thing is going to have a lot to it. It's very fun. It's really cool. We'll make attachments so that you can end up putting the minigun on there as well. Some detail to it. The engine cover comes off so you can see it, and the engine does lower down into the water, which is very fun. So I figure if we're going to do a pirate line, might as well have like an attack raft to just, test the waters, no pun intended. So, so that's going to be our new vehicle that we just started working on. And I don't have a time frame on it yet, but we're going to, it should go, quicker than obviously like the Locust because there's not as much to it. But also it's like, I want this thing out like quick. Like this thing is cool. So, a lot of, it's kind of hard to do, water stuff. I know Hasbro did the Fortnite boat, which is really cool. A lot of people do land stuff. So I figured, let me see what you guys think of water stuff. So you guys want water stuff? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Maybe if this does well, we'll start getting bigger with the boats. We'll see. Then you guys will start taking pictures playing in your pool with them. So yeah, the other thing is I want to make sure it does float. So I'll have to hammer the factory like, it's got to float. It's got to float. So I'll be testing it in pools and lakes and stuff like that. All right, let's get into really, really good stuff. Not that any of that stuff was good at all, but I figure, let's get to like the stuff that like you guys are really looking forward to, the secret stuff. So this stuff I don't have, well, I have some models. Yeah, I got some models that I'll show at the booth, but this is all like 2026 and beyond. So a lot of exploratory stuff, a lot of stuff I'm actually doing, new stuff, that sort of thing. I don't even remember what comes next, so it's a surprise to me. I was looking into doing some more. Who got excited about weightlifting accessories? Probably a guy that goes to the gym all the time. So I was like, let's some more accessories like weights and maybe like a weight bench and a kickboxing bag. And I'm like, well, we don't just want to do accessories. So what if figures came with the accessories?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
What if ladies came with the accessories? What if it was a working title. I was calling it Fit Force. But I'm going to do Eclipse, Gemini, and Kill Switch, our 3 Action Force female heroes. And they will be as one full set. So it'll be a 3-pack with all of this. So all new bodies, all new heads, all new accessories, totally new set. I just thought it would be really fun. I go to the gym every now and then. My wife, she works out all the time. So it's like, I thought this would be just a fun set to do. I don't know if anyone else thinks it's fun, but I think it's fun. So again, it's all new heads, nice facial expressions of them, just, really gritting their teeth and working out and stuff like that. So I thought, hopefully you guys dig it. It should be a fun set. But yeah, it'll be our first ever multi-pack of figures, which will be cool. What's next? Oh, more for this. So Ninja, Articulate Ninja, this one is for you. So so on the left, you see our old waist piece, which they still looked great, but I love this new Jada Street Fighter line and the way they did Cammy. It accentuates certain areas of the figure, and I said, let's kind of use that model so that when you're posing out your figure, it looks good. So everyone, thank Ninja for this one. All right, what is next? Oh, another person we're working with. Where's Duarte? Where is he? There he is. Duarte Studios, great dial maker and accessory maker. So I've had this idea of doing some sort of modular playset for a bit. And I reached out to him and I said, hey, I want to do this. And we were bouncing around ideas and we came up with something like this. So nice armory set. I don't have a cool name for it yet, but I'm looking at doing a really cool armory. All the walls, the floor pieces, all modular. So you can make them big, small, racks. The drawers, as you can see, it houses all of our accessories, the weapons, the magazines, the grenades. And Duarte was doing these great, sort of torso pieces that held his vest. And I said, hey, let's pump that up a bit. Let's make it so that it could hold all the Action Force gear for one of your guys. So if you want to pose a guy out like he's going into his armory and getting all his gear, so we put everything, the belts, the thigh holsters, the vests. And I said, hey, let's do a skull head that you can put the helmet on. Now also I said, let's put a ball joint on the torso so that you could take the skull head and put it on a figure. So yeah, so this is fun because it's like I want to take modular and put it on HGH and we're going to go crazy. So this is really fun. We're still, we've got a lot of work to do on it and, but it's going to be fun. But again, here's all the wall pieces. So again, you can go high with it. You can go over with it. And it's fully modular. Duarte is great on kind of figuring things out. He came up with ideas I didn't even think of. So this will be on display down at the booth. And, hopefully it's something that we could start expanding on. We're doing not just armored pieces, maybe like computer consoles or bunks or jail cells and that sort of thing. So maybe we won't do just one giant playset, but you can get enough sort of sets to make a giant playset. And, he and I were just talking. I was like, oh, man, because this fits in a DTOF case. So I was like, well, since we can go high with it, if you take all your glass shelves out of a DTOF, you can literally make it super high and take up the entire DTOF, which is fun. So yeah, so that's coming. No time frame on it, but this one's going to take a lot of work, but it's something fun to explore. But again, he was like, oh, you can make a garage for the Vanguard. Yes, absolutely. So, just know that the possibilities for this are endless. So if we pull the trigger on this, we're going to go heavy. So you guys are going to have a lot of options with it. Chad, I think this next one's for you. What is that? I don't even know what those are. They look familiar. They look familiar. I feel like I've seen these parts before. I just don't know what they are. But yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe maybe some O-ring action for us. So I know there. I always said that the line was going to be 6-inch, and we did the Tony figure as like a kind of a one-off, but. I get a lot of the hardcore O-ring guys out there like, hey, man, show some love. And I was like, you know what? Why not? So let's see. So it's a Lord scale according to Chad. And I said, fine, I'll appease Chad and I will do this. So I reached out to Matthew LaCroix. For those of you that know him, he does a lot of great O-ring customs. And he had done a custom of Pandora. And I was like, that looks really good. And I said, hey, man, let's do a couple figures. So him and Bobby Vance, they teamed up together. And I said, guys, these are the 4 figures I want to do. And I want to show them at DFW. So let's go. So they did the 4 of them and just knocked it out of the park. Like each one I saw, I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like, okay, I can maybe get behind O-ring a little bit. All right. Because Action Force, even in the Palatoy line, was always the 5 POA. And yeah, it was International Heroes, but they used the Joe bodies. So it's like kind of cool to do Action Force as O-ring kind of for the first time. And here's a look at Pandora. Obviously, you guys know she's my favorite. So she had to have been done. And then I think Bone Collector's probably the best looking one. Like his mask comes off, which is really cool. And yeah, again, Bobby and Matthew just killed it with these. And they were like, oh man, can't wait for people to see them. So finally, I could put them on display and tell you guys about them. We have the Praetorian. He's a little taller than the other guy, so it's nice to do a slightly bigger figure. And then, of course, Steel Brigade. So I went with the new Steel Brigade design. Matthew did do a gold head that he gave me, but I just didn't put it on the figure yet. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do a variant. But then I was thinking about the O-ring stuff and thinking, well, can we get creative with the packaging? It's like everyone does, the blister cards, which is fine. It works. I was like, let's be different. Let's do something different. So I've been really on this blind bag kick. I go to Target a lot. I buy blind bag stuff. When I was in China, I was looking at the blind bag market and how successful and popular it is out there. And I was like, well, what if we did grenades and the figures were blind bags? So that's might be the route that I take with this because it's a whole unboxing experience. We created this grenade that you actually pull the pin and pop the stem and then open it up, and it's like it could be fun. So I know people are like, yeah, but I don't know which one I'm getting. This is what blind bag is. So we'll make them affordable to the point where you won't mind getting. We'll do some variants and stuff like that, maybe like Bloody Pandora and stuff. So I know who would want blind bag. Raise your hand. Yes. And who would want blister card? All right, so the blind bag did a little better. All right, cool. All right, we'll see. Again, maybe not every figure will be blind bag. Maybe we'll do just the troopers like Steel Brigade, Praetorians. Maybe we'll do the troopers as blind bags, and we'll do the core characters as blister cards. We'll see. But again, this is like I'm having fun just exploring these options. But thanks, Chad, because it's just one more thing I gotta work on here. So yeah, apparently. So yeah, O-ring. Guys excited for O-ring? Yeah. Okay, good. Maybe we'll keep going with it. We'll see. We'll see what the live people say. We'll see if they want me to do O-ring or not. Are we good on power? We're good on power, right? No. What is next? I think we're coming to the end. I'm like flying through this stuff, so we might be able to get to the Q&A. This is good. I think it might be the last one. I was going to print out like a cheat sheet because I always do this. Every time I do a presentation, I never remember what the slides are, even though I spent 20 hours working on this. Let's see. Oh, that's right. Okay. This is a passion project of mine. So this is, I tease this on social media. I put, 1944 up and just let people figure out what I was doing. So I am introducing a line of World War II figures at 6-inch and it is Action Force 1944. I've said it before that wouldn't it be cool if, like, you know, for those of you that know the Action Force lore, like Condor, his great grandfather was in World War II, and maybe they started the first ever special forces unit and they called it Action Force. And then Condor uncovers, you know, some files and stuff, and then he calls his new team Action Force. So I wanted to do a World War II line that is part of Action Force. And this was like the way of kind of bridging the gap and like expanding the history of Action Force. So I'm going to do a whole line of World War II characters at 6-inch. Yep. So working on these right now. There will be a ton of bodies, a ton of gear, a ton of weapons, all fully customizable, just like the current line. And we will be doing paratroopers, we'll be doing Axis powers, we'll be doing allied powers. This is going to be a deep line because you can't just do World War II and like dip your toe in. You have to do it all. So we are doing the only and premier World War II line at 6-inch, and it will be coming sooner than you think. So I'm having a lot of fun with this one. Mark is doing all the weapons as usual because he's great at them. And I'm having a lot of fun with the figures. I have, you know, tons of reference books, and because I want to make sure that everything is authentic. All the gear has to be perfect. Everything has to look good. But it's also about creating unique characters. You know, I know everyone wants the Band of Brothers, the Saving Private Ryans, that sort of thing, which, you know, with a few part swaps, you could probably do that. But these will be core characters. You'll have, you know, Condor's great-grandfather. Maybe he went by the call sign Condor as well. So there will be a, you know, World War II Condor. But again, this Action Force team is going to be made up of, you know, UK, Russia, US soldiers, which will be really fun to be able to have all those different uniforms to do. So this is going to be a good one, and I'm very excited about it. So, guys, that is all I got. Hopefully you guys dug it. A lot of new stuff coming. Cool. So we made good time, and we can do some Q&A. Again, I do have a ton of stuff, so everyone's going to want to like fly over to the booth after we leave here. Let me go first so I can get the stuff out there. But yeah, you guys are going to love seeing this stuff in person. It is very, very exciting. So thank you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, let's start with some Q&A. Oh. Yeah. I've seen a bunch of people do like customs, like put the, you know, the Steel Brigade gear pack head on the Atlas body and stuff. It looks really good. So now that we're introducing the big body and we're going to have more, you know, big body parts, we can definitely do, you know, Steel Brigades. You guys obviously know I'm going to keep doing Steel Brigades. So yeah, something like that will come eventually. Yep.
You mentioned the tin with the vest.
Yep.
Is that going to be including older vests or just all new?
I'm going to take all, and it's kind of a logistical nightmare because I have to coordinate with 3 different factories because we have vests done in 3 different factories. But I want to take every single vest we've done and put it all. So in some iteration, maybe not swarm vest, but like Bone Collector's vest and, you know, the early series 1 and 2 vests, because that series 2 plate carrier is such a great vest. Like I love that vest. The new Steel Brigade vest is great. The new one that comes with the Infantry Commando and the Sidewinder is a great vest. And we made it so that there's so much, you know, modular ability to it. So like all the pouches from all the previous vests can fit on the new vests and everything can be kind of swappable. So we're thinking about not using glue so that you can swap parts. So I'm working on that set now, and it's just gonna be a lot to it, but I'm doing tons of colors. But yes, it'll be pretty much every single vest we've done.
How interchangeable are you going to make your extras with your existing Action Force?
Oh, it'll be the same system. Yep. So all the hands will be the same peg system. All the heads will be the same size, unlike, you know, Hasbro's Marvel Legends. But yeah, everything will fit. So the way you can pop the arms off the Action Force figures, it'll be the same way for these. So I want everything done by Valverse. Even the Splinter Cell figure will be the same system. Everything will be the same exact size, because why else would you, you know, do it differently?
Is there going to be another generation issue of the Swarm Troopers?
Yes. So there's a, the pilot that comes with the Locust. So that'll be like the next one. But someone was asking me, about, Swarm. It was actually in the bathroom. But someone was like, when are you going to do, we can do more swarms. I said, what's crazy is like, we have all these factions and I'm introducing all these new characters. And it's like, how do you got to like spread love to everyone, but now you have this big library and you're like, oh, okay, now I got to get back to this character, back to this character. So it's like, we did a bunch of swarms and now it's like, I took a little break from them. So now it's like, we're going to go back and maybe I'll use some parts from the new Locust, pilot, cause that's a really cool body. And maybe we'll do some new type of swarm troopers. It's like now we have the Praetorians. So it's like, I'll eventually go back to more swarm stuff because they're integral into the story. It's just, I just need some time.
Who's the black gonna fight?
Who's the black gonna fight? I mean, pretty much everybody. Like I thought of like when, my business partner, a friend of mine was telling me, take the black out. They could live on their own. I was like, yeah, but like, how is it going to be? And he made a really good like analogy. He's like, Valaverse is Marvel. Action Force is Avengers. The black is X-Men. It's all in the same universe. It's just separate things. So, like the video said, it's like, they kind of control the waters. So if, Action Force wants to get into the water, well, they got to run into them. If people want to try to invade and come in, they got to deal with them. So again, they're like these anti-heroes. They're just like, this is the water's ours. Like, this is ours. Leave us alone. But just know some stuff's going to go down if you want to play in here. So, yeah. But I'm expanding the story. Like writing that story and the characters is really fun. So again, like the black is, man, I've been wanting to, do this line forever. It's like, once a year I watch, every season of Black Sails, and while I was designing those characters, I was watching the series again. I was like, because this is just so much fun. Like, I have fun with everything I do, but there was like something different about the black. Like, it was just like I felt really giddy while I was like working on it. And I was like, this is cool. Like, this is really cool.
Is there something already written out, or would you be including factions like the black into the first movie?
I can't speak on that. The black would not be included because they're separate. Yeah.
You talked about the movie books again, but other media, like you had the file cards and the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Is that coming on? Kind of mentioned
Yeah, I have calls every month with people just expanding on stuff. The comic stuff. I was hoping to announce a publisher for now, but we're like so close. We're still working some things out because it's been a while since I've had comics. And because I was waiting for this kind of this publisher option to materialize, and it's just taking a little longer. I don't think anybody works as fast as I do, so it drives me nuts because I'm like, let's go, I'm ready. I want everything to happen now. I want video games, I want animation, I want more comic books, I want novels, I want movies. So it's like I got a lot of feelers out there and irons, and we're having great conversations. We had that sizzle video for the black got shown to some pretty important people in Hollywood, and they fell in love with it. So, maybe that can materialize into something fairly quickly. So we'll see.
Would you put streaming out of the equation? Or
No, absolutely. Streaming is kind of like the future. I mean, maybe not the future, but it's so like, why would you not do streaming? You have to, So yeah, it's every option's on the table.
Any chance of a police officer joining the
I was thinking about it. I was like, how quickly could I get a police officer done for DFW? We'll see. Maybe they'll still get it out. I mean, all signs point to no. Listen, I worked on plenty of items at Hasbro that made it to tooling, got produced, and sat in a warehouse and never came out. So it happens. But, it'd be nice if they said something, but, either don't leave us to think. Because we're all just going to speculate, and that's never good. Just put it out there. Just say, because of what's going on in the world, we're not doing this figure. Just say it. Or, hey, we're going to wait till things cool down. We'll release it later. I mean, my thing is I don't know. You're eventually just going to see that figure at Ollie's, just because they're like, well, we can't really put it out, so maybe we'll just put it at Ollie's. I don't know. Who knows? But we're all left wondering. But I mean, if they don't do a police officer, maybe it leaves the door open. We'll see. But I was thinking about doing a police officer, so we'll see.
Would you consider at least doing events like the
Maybe.
A while back, you had mentioned looking into mech design.
Yeah.
You're still thinking about that?
It's something I've cooled off a bit on it. It was fun to kind of explore, but I think it's really hard to do. It's because to do it right is really expensive. I don't want to do a $200 or $300 mech suit. You know, the one Mezco did, excuse me, you know, I reviewed and there was parts of it that were good and there was parts of it that weren't. And I just don't know what the answer is. And I'm spread a bit thin to really devote the time needed to do a mech suit. You know, I'll see how the snake armor looks. And who knows, maybe things will change in 2 weeks and I'll be like, yes, I want to do mechs. You know, that happens to me all the time. Something will spark me and I was like, I'll start working on it. So it's on the back burner, but it's not a priority because I got other, you know, as you can see, I got a ton of other stuff I'm working on. Yeah. So.
So with the Ubisoft partnership,
Yep.
the Splinter Cell figure show is good. Would you maybe consider something like Ghost Recon, Wildlands, or anything?
Yeah, I've talked with them and said like, look, let's see how this does, and then if we can, you know, extend the partnership and do more, we'll absolutely do more. They're amazing to work with. They have been so easy and so accommodating. Like they're fantastic. So I'm excited to get this, you know, the Sam Splinter Cell figure out and just like, you know, seeing what everyone thinks about it. And yeah, absolutely, we'll see where it goes.
So you have the ocean covered, but what about space?
Chad, should we go to space? You know what? You know what?
Make a mini.
Make a minivan. I already did a soccer mom van, didn't I? Yeah. You know what? I might take that space challenge. I might take that. Everyone says you can't do space. Maybe I'll do space. I'll show them.
Does the deal with Ubisoft go the other way? Can they incorporate your stuff into video games?
We haven't talked about that, but why would I partner with a video game company if I didn't want to do video games? You know. Jeff.
Last year you teased Pandora's brother, maybe a vehicle for her people.
Mhm.
Anything that work on that?
I mean, I haven't, like, because like I designed Jester and Jester was part of, you know, her team, but it's like, yeah, I introduced her brother in the comics, so it's like eventually I have to get to her brother. But again, it's like just finding the time to get it. But in time, it'll come. And it's like, yeah, what sort of vehicle do you do for Pandora and her crew? So nothing's off the table. It's just a matter of getting to it. So.
Did you ever consider doing that in the future? Because the dioramas, we got to kind of.
I don't know. I got this new extras line coming out. Maybe like you know, expansion packs with like what? Yeah. I mean, you can do, now that we have the swappable arms, you could just do like an arm pack of just, you know, severed arm or something like that, or, you know, a bloody face. So options, baby, extras.
Well, now you got a swappable skull head. You can have some zombies.
Or there's that, you know. I've never been big on zombies. I think zombies are very overdone. I don't know. You could buy a line that comes out once every 2 years. They you know, let them do zombies. I don't want to, you know. I got my own thing going on.
You mentioned you have a lot of irons on the fire, a lot of concepts. How do you maintain your focus, continuity?
I have no idea. No idea. I come in and, you know, I have some employees and I get into the office and I just shut my door because I just can't some days. Because I'm like, again, this presentation, I spent like 20 hours on this thing. And I'm like, it took me away from other work. But it's like, you got to do this. This is important. So, you know, yeah, I don't know. You just juggle a lot. And it's, yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, I haven't gone crazy yet. But, you know, I can sort of like detach a bit. Like when it's time to go home, I go home. I see my family and stuff. Like, you know, yeah, I might checking emails every now and then? Sure. But, you know, you got to kind of separate from it a bit. But, you know, it's a lot. And, you know, I wouldn't recommend running a toy company. It's a lot of work, but you know, but it is the most fun I've ever had. Go ahead, Ryan.
We have a YouTube question from Tim Taser.
Okay.
Can we get crazy alien heads and really bad camel pants for the extras?
Alien heads. That sounds like one of the dumbest ideas I've ever heard. No, there will not be alien heads. That's just stupid.
Yeah, these are humans. Will there be like older figures, previous figures with the new arms, like the detachable arms, like remade?
Probably not, just because we have the new bodies. You know, I'm a big fan of like evolving a line. So it's like, while I love those early bodies, I think, you know, we're kind of the Series 5 bodies and beyond is what we're gonna, you know, have the removable arms on. Allie? Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. I mean, I did a couple different colorways for them. I haven't established what the exact first option will be. I also think it would be cool to do like a clear stealth option. So that could be fun. But yeah, you know, I've done different colors for pretty much everything. So you could bet I'll definitely do it for the Locust. There, in a way, I mean, I'm still talking to them, but it's like everything is so successful now doing it the way it is. It's like, well, the line is continuing to grow and our quantities are going up and we're selling more. We're gaining new fans every month. So, you know, the brick and mortar stuff, it's like, it's not as popular as it was. People, you know, like ordering online. You know, it's not as fun to go to the store when Target and Walmart just aren't really carrying anything. I mean, it'd still be great to get there. It's just, I don't think it's a priority just because, you know, it's working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? And it's like, I saw a company, they put a line out, or their entire line of products. They announced, hey, we got into Walmart. You guys can probably figure out who I'm talking about, but they got into Walmart and within 2 weeks, their stuff was on clearance. So it's like, okay, well, you know, while I have faith in the stuff I'm doing, it's like, I don't know, maybe it might not work there. And the last thing you want is to get your stuff there and then have it go on clearance. It seems like, you know, the brick and mortar stores, they don't invest a lot into, you know, newer stuff. So, you know, it's like, I don't know. It's not necessary yet. I mean, obviously a movie line will go to brick and mortar, but as of right now, what we got going is working.
So between like series 1 to this next series,
yep.
Like what is the multiple of how many figures are being made in the run? Right? I'm assuming you had like a low volume run in the beginning and now.
No, it was high in the beginning.
Oh, it was
like it skyrocketed in the beginning. You know, we did. I mean, I think, you know, the you know, you hear independent toy companies all the time, like minimum, you know, the MOQs for stuff is like 2,000 to 3,000 pieces. I think we were closer to, you know, 10 on series 1 for stuff, and now it just goes up. So, you know, our numbers are high, which allowed us to, you know, drop prices stuff. So they keep going up, which is good. So, you know, it's been great because of you guys, you know, as long as I'm doing stuff that you guys like and it sells. You know?
Is that giving you guys priority in the factories?
It's kind of the way it works. It's business, you know. It's they run their business. Lucky you get into a factory and you're the low man on the totem pole. Like, stuff happens, but it's like you get into a factory, they're going to prioritize your 10,000 piece run over someone's 2,000 piece run. It's wrong, but it's you got to think from their standpoint that it's business for them. It's more economical for them to do the larger run than the smaller run. One more question. All right. So the World War II figures. So as you can see, we'll do it in the World War II figures as well, because there's a lot of draping going on in that. So we're going to do this and we're going to do it right so that we can start using that same system across all of our lines. So, all right. So guys, hold the questions. We'll do the rest. All right. Real quick. You'll see it. I said I'm going to show it there. You'll see it. All right. Huh? No. All right. Thanks, everyone.